Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, good people? Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Happy Thursday. Happy, thankful, thriving, and therapeutic Thursday. Back again with another episode of SRDaily, episode 487. 487 episodes in. We are still going strong, man. We are still pushing. I really love this show, man. I really look forward to waking up. Uncle, what's going on, Uncle? I appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in. I really look forward to waking up, writing notes, right? I'm I'm realizing this is why I need to get to bed at a better time so I can wake up earlier, right? Because I really need to get to bed by 10 o'clock. 12 the latest. I need to be like in bed on my way to sleep so I can wake up at 4:30. Because I'm realizing that the more time I have to write my show notes, the better they are. Like I got some, I got some shit today. We're gonna talk about some shit today, right? Like respectfully, humbly, I like to think I'm a great thinker. I'm an incredible thinker, right? And when I'm thinking about messaging, when I'm thinking about what message I want to convey, I like to think that I'm a great communicator, right? But obviously, when I don't have time, when a person doesn't have time to really think about what they want to communicate, the message they want to communicate, how they want to come across, what examples they want to use to communicate that message. Sometimes it can become jumbled up and you don't fully express yourself, right? So I am yo, Ant, what up? Get up! Yeah. So I am right, committed to just making sure I have more time in the morning. And so in order to do that, I need to, as Mona says right there, schedule your bedtime. Right. And it's a challenge for me because like naturally I am a night owl and an early bird, right? Like my dad was a night owl and an early bird. My dad be up late working, up early working. Now my dad only lived to 66. We don't know whether that was all diet and stress or schedule, right? So I'm gonna follow my inner compass, right? I do want to get to bed at a better time. But I know I can thrive. And I remember watching, recently. So they say you need 8 hours of sleep, right? That's what people say, right? I've always said you don't need 8 hours of sleep, right? And when that's a third of your life, I don't want to sleep a third of my life away. That's not something I want to do. So then how can I sleep less while still being optimal, right? While still creating and operating at a high level is, I think, diet, right? What's his name? Aries Letham. I think he's a 77, 80-year-old, I think vegan, fruitarian, lives in the islands. And he said something that was so profound, right? He said something that intuitively I knew it was accurate. He said, the more you eat, so sleep is related to like digestion and processing, right? Processing food, allowing the food to go where it needs to go, right? He said, when you don't eat a lot, you need less sleep. Like the less you eat, the less sleep you need. And it makes sense because when I'm eating regular, or when I'm eating like nuts and seeds like I am now, I'm more tired. I need more sleep. I need more rest. When I'm fasting, when I'm eating nothing, right? Like when I'm literally fasting, I'm doing a water fast. I don't need that much sleep for me to jump up and be vibrant and be operating at a high level. Right. And so, but we're gonna get into the show, man, because we got some stuff to talk about today. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Martin. You are tuned to episode 487 of SR Daily. Today is Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Just one more day left in the month. Tomorrow is Halloween, last day of the month. Today is our juice and play in Queensbridge. Supposed to be raining though, so we're not going to bring the games out, but we do have 100 and something fresh juices, apple ginger juice, and we do have grape and ginger juice, all free for the community. So if you're in Queensbridge, if you can get by Queensbridge, come get some juice, hang out, talk to us. Again, if the rain's not too bad, we're gonna have the tents up, so it ain't gonna be like we just outside in the rain. We're gonna have tents. But yeah, come hang out, man. Come purchase some fruits and vegetables. Today is also the last day of our farm stand of the season. We will continue the grocery box distribution. That's all year round. That's going to move to an earlier time. It's going to be inside where we're going to distribute to our 47 families in Queensbridge. We're going to talk about some other things too, because we know that we got snap cuts coming. So we're going to we're figuring out how we can increase our service, our free grocery boxes to families in Queensbridge, as well as in Corona, Jackson Heights, and now Woodside. So we're always thinking about how we can serve more people, especially as the need and demand grows. But let's get the show started, fam. Let's move right along to our first segment of the day. Today's first segment is a quote of the day. Today's quote is: demonstrate your enthusiasm for life and radiate it outward in all you do until it infects all those around you. This is heroism. You don't have to run into a burning building to save a child to be a hero. You just have to be in touch with that God within. Enthusiasm is not something granted to some and absent in others. All of us have a God within. Some of us choose to be in touch with it and display it, while others mask it and allow it to remain dormant. Enthusiasm is a quality that nourishes success. That's a long quote, but that shit is fire. I read that in his book yesterday, right? The Wisdom of the Ages, 60 Days to Enlightenment by Wayne Dyer. It's freaking profound. We're going to read it one more time. Demonstrate your enthusiasm for life and radiate it outward in all you do until it infects all those around you. This is heroism. You don't have to run into a burning building to save a child to be a hero. You just have to be in touch with that God within. Enthusiasm is not something granted to some and absent in others. All of us have a God within. Some of us choose to be in touch with it and display it, while others mask it and allow it to remain dormant. Enthusiasm is a quality that nourishes success. So these words are from his essay on enthusiasm, which was inspired by the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, one of the most famous poets of the 19th century. How freaking real. Sam Lee, what's going on, my brother? How real are those words? My goodness. Like, I like to say, get excited about your coming success, right? Because one thing I've learned that's certain is that success follows good energy. You could be doing not so good things. Like, you could be doing bad things, right? Like, when I was hustling, when I was selling drugs, one of the reasons, like, some of my friends still ask me, right? One of my friends every so often asks me, how did you make so much money hustling? Because I had good energy. So even if you're doing bad things, you're doing things that are not positive, you're doing things that are detrimental to yourself, to family, to society, right? If your energy is upbeat and vibrant, and you seem to be having fun, you will most likely be really successful. I know that. Like, I'm a living proof of that, right? People who are hustling, who may have had better product than I had sometimes, right? But their energy was terrible. They're cursing people out, right? Like, effing off fiends, the way their appearance, how they dress, how they speak, right? Like, they didn't make as much money. Why? Because their energy was bad. They did not have enthusiasm. Like, I used to be outside excited. Like, the same way I am now is the same way I was then. My music on, when I have my CD player, like, I'm playing my old school Luther. I'm jamming, right? On the block, hustling, making money. Like, it's crazy. So literally take these words to heart. Demonstrate your enthusiasm for life and radiate it outward in all you do until it infects all those around you. That's a word. Be enthusiastic, be excited, right? Be upbeat, be vibrant, have positive energy. And I promise you, like, not only, like, I mean, you magnetize, right? Like, you bring that, you pull that energy field to you, whether it's opportunities, right? People that you need to meet, right? Like, or simply ideas that you need to have to get to the next level, to get to the next step, right? To bring forth the deeper idea that you have that's going to change everything for you. That is the quote of the day, man. That's fire. That's powerful. I hope you guys heard that. I hope you guys, like, take that to heart and, like, embody that. Let's move right along to our second segment of the day. Second segment, we got to talk about this shit, man. Need to know news of the day. EBT cuts are coming in November. 42 million people will not receive their food stamps, which is just 2 days away in November. 42 million people. And contrary to what a lot of people have always been saying, right? And they're saying now online, is that all the black people, all the Hispanics, all the immigrants. No, it's most people get EBT are white people. All right, white people are the biggest recipients of EBT, right, by percentage, right? So out of 42 million people, a good percentage of that is white people. And so now, I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I'm just saying, like, don't allow people to tell you that your people, your black people, your brown people, right, your red people are broke and poor and need to just get a job because we on food stamps. Don't let that narrative go. All right. But let's read this article, man. Let's read this article on CBS and let's discuss it. This is from 2 days ago, October 28th, 2025. With food stamps set to dry up November 1st, SNAP recipients say they fear what's next. And mind you, this is something that they've been planning. They've been planning this, right? Like there's been articles out in June and even back in January. Roughly 42 million Americans rely on food stamps that arrive every month on their electronic benefit transfer cards. On November 1st, that aid is set to abruptly stop amid the ongoing U.S. government shutdown, potentially leaving households scrambling to figure out how to put food on the table. People enrolled in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, told CBS News they're bracing for some tough financial choices. Casey McBlias, a 42-year-old single mom who lives in Buckfield, Maine, says she's planning to delay paying her electric and credit card bills to make sure her 2 children have enough to eat. Now we'll have to prioritize which bills we can pay and which can wait. McBlayers, who works for a Maine social services agency and who draws about $600 a month in SNAP benefits, said, "My children won't go hungry." It said, this is a map where Americans rely most on food stamps. Enrollment in the supplemental varies by state, with New Mexico having the highest share of its residents receiving benefit at 21.5%. The suspension of food aid comes as Democratic and Republican lawmakers continue to trade blame over the government shutdown, which now stands as the second longest funding lapse in U.S. history. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, which funds the SNAP program, warned earlier this month that there will be insufficient funding to pay full November benefits if the shutdown continued, prompting local governments to post notices on their websites about the potential interruption in payments. Bottom line, the well has run dry, the USDA said in a memo posted Sunday on its website. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. Democratic lawmakers have asked the USDA to use contingency funds to cover most of next month's SNAP benefits, but an agency memo surfaced on Friday that says contingency funds are not legally available to cover regular benefits. It's fucking insane. You got money for emergency, but you won't fund people who are going hungry because it's a regular benefit they receive. The document says the money is reserved for such things as helping people in disaster areas. Fucking disaster people don't. Shit is insane. That means beginning November 1st, the government will halt about $8 billion in monthly SNAP payments, cutting off food assistance for the 1 in 8 Americans who are enrolled in the program. Recipients, who include households in every state, typically get about $187 a month on a prepaid card to help cover the cost of groceries. Unused benefits on SNAP recipient cards will roll over into November. That's money that's already been appropriated. It's been put on their card. Mackenzie Libby, a staff attorney with Community Legal Services, told CBS News Philadelphia. So we definitely do not want people rushing out to try to use up their benefits at the end of October, thinking they're not going to be able to buy anything in November. The USDA said it is incumbent on Democrats in Congress to end the government shutdown, although they're not the ones who caused the shutdown. Republicans, Trump, right? Based on this shit is a mess. It's a fucking circus. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. Continue to hold out for the far left wing of the party or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive timely SNAP benefits and other federal food aid, the agency said in a statement to CBS News. Some U.S. states, including Louisiana, Vermont, and Virginia, have vowed to continue dispersing SNAP benefits even if the federal government suspends payments. New York on Monday pledged $30 million in emergency food assistance, also recently committing to provide millions more in support for food banks. The USDA memo stipulates that states won't be reimbursed for temporarily providing food aid to residents, raising questions about the viability of that approach. This shit is insane. Other states are taking legal action. A coalition of 25 states and the District of Columbia on Tuesday sued the Trump administration, alleging that the suspension of food stamps is unlawful and threatens the health and well-being of millions. The states are asking a federal judge in Massachusetts to order the USDA to provide SNAP benefits in November by tapping into a contingency fund, which is estimated to hold around $5 billion. Where am I going to get food from? Charlene Sutton, a 45-year-old single mother of 4 in Dorchester, Massachusetts, who left her job as a security officer last month to care for one of her children who has epilepsy, says she relies on the $5.49 she gets in monthly SNAP benefits to feed her family. I was freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, now I don't have a job, she told CBS News. I'm not worried about myself that much. It's about the kids. Like, where am I going to get food from? Sutton says she's looking for a food bank to help fill the gap if her food aid is cut. But experts warn that the non-profit organizations alone aren't capable of filling the $8 billion monthly hole left by a looming SNAP suspension. The charitable food system and food banks don't have the resources to replace all those food dollars, John Sales, CEO of Vermont Food Bank in Bar, Vermont, told CBS News. Already, this shit is insane. This shit is insane. Where's it at? Sorry. Already. Food banks are getting an influx of calls from SNAP recipients who are worried about the payment freeze, and food shelves could see long lines next month if the shutdown persists. There is no safety net after SNAP other than the food shelf. He added, Albuquerque, New Mexico's Roadrunner Food Bank, which typically serves 83,000 households per week, is seeing panic among residents due to the SNAP halt, said Katie Anderson, Vice President of Strategy, Partnership, and Advocacy at the nonprofit organization. George Mysiak, Executive Director of the Share Food Program in Philadelphia, has also noticed an uptick in demand. He told CBS News in a text message that some of the pantries the hunger relief nonprofit works with have reported 12-fold increases in new registrations week to week. Even before the new surge in demand, food banks were already facing pressures because of the growing number of people seeking their services, aggravated this year by persistent inflation and funding constraints. In March, the USDA said it was nixing $420 million in funding for a program that allows food banks to buy food directly from local farms, ranchers, and producers. Broader economic impact. A temporary halt in $8 billion in monthly food aid could also impact local businesses, from grocers to farm stands, says Sales of Vermont Food Bank. Each $1 in SNAP benefits provides an economic benefit of $1.60, he said, referring to the so-called multiplier effect, in which dollars flowing through the local economy help support spending, jobs, and growth. SNAP is the foundation of economic support for a lot of food retailers, like those smaller places in rural areas and the corner store in our cities, said Kate Bauer, an associate professor of nutritional services at the University of Michigan. So this has far-reaching impacts beyond just the people who get SNAP. SNAP is designed to provide supplemental aid for a family's grocery budget, but some families depend on it as their main source of income to buy food, Bauer noted. For those living paycheck to paycheck, even a short disruption in benefits can have immediate consequences, experts said. The loss of SNAP funding threatens some of the most vulnerable people in the U.S., with the Center on Budget Policy and Priorities noting that 2/3 of food stamp recipients are children, seniors, or people with disabilities. For McBlayers, the single mom, the issue isn't political. Rather, it's about making sure families can eat in an economy where many are already struggling to afford rent, utilities, and basic groceries, she told CBS News. Everybody needs food. SNAP recipients are Democratic, Republican, and everything in between. Shit is a mess. Shit is a fucking mess, a huge mess. What will people do if they cannot afford food? Excuse me. Yes, it is absolutely fucked up that so many people may not be able to afford food. Yes, we must band together and take care of each other. Yes, we must cook at home, feed our neighbors, and eat just enough. Do not be gluttonous. Yet, for me, this begs the question of why are we so dependent on the government that has shown time and time again that it does not give a damn about its people? Why are we so dependent on a government, on a system that has shown time and time again that it does not give a damn about us? So Tuesday, my team and I, right, my Connected Chef team and I, we met and we discussed how we will respond, right? We have a farm stand, right? We are not government funded. We met and talked about how we respond, but in that response, in discussing how we are going to respond, we also discussed the ultimate goal of how we help people become self-reliant. How do we help people become self-sufficient? How do we create a food system or a system in general where not so many people are dependent on the government? And I understand, yeah, man, shit is fucking tough. This shit is fucking tough. I just wish we weren't so dependent on the government. Right? And yes, the government's supposed to take care of the people, but we know that this government, the way it's been run, it does not take care of the people. And so I wish that we can just take better care of each other. We have millionaires and billionaires with money, right? We have people with land, right? You may not have money, but they have land. And so we just need to come together, plug into each other, and fix this issue. not just of the SNAP benefits being cut in November and however long going forward, but the issue of dependence on the government that does not depend on its people, or that is not fully support its people, that is not fully invested in the well-being of the general public. But let's move right along, though, family, to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment is a tip of the day, as always. Today's tip is simply to remember who you are. Remember that you have unlimited potential. Remember that you can do anything you put your mind to. Yes, distractions will always arise, whether that's simply in your time being spent with loved ones or friends, right? Being distracted by your children and having to do things with your spouse, do things for your siblings, with your parents, right? Or in the form of illness and other stressors, right? Economic stressors, right? It's a fucking distraction. Not knowing where your next dollar is going to come from, not knowing how you're going to be able to pay for food, right? Illness. So now all of this is true. Remember yesterday's serenity prayer. There are some things that are literally out of your control. Do not stress those. Do not stress those things that are out of your control. I remember being in prison and I was sentenced already. I'm already upstate and I'm calling home and I'm worried about my little brother and I'm worried about this. And the guy said, can you control any of that stuff going on? I was worried about my girl at the time sleeping with other people. He's like, can you control any of that from right here where you are now? I said, no. So don't fucking stress about it. And it just made perfect sense. Why am I stressing about something I cannot control? If I can't control it, don't stress about it. Do something about it. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. And it's not easy. No, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's that simple. So don't stress over the shit you can't control. Control what you can. Relinquish what you cannot control to God. Rest in knowing you did your best. Like, this is fucking wisdom. Be mindful of the distractions. Be mindful of the distractions that exist in your own mind. Sometimes it's not even real stuff. It's fucking mental stuff. It's in your mind. So meditate, still the mind. Focus on what you want to bring into fruition. Steady those thoughts. I know that you can do it. I know that we can do it. Even if you need to take freaking baby steps, take those baby steps. But by all means, keep pressing forward. Even if you need to take baby steps, take baby steps. But by all means, keep going forward. Do not stop. Do not stop. And if you gotta stop. Take a break, but don't go backwards. Right? And if you do fall backwards, get up as soon as fucking possible and take a step forward. Let's move right along, though, family, to our fourth and final segment of the day. Sefu Sanko for peace and love, my brother. Peace and love. What's going on? Let's move right along to our fourth and final segment of the day, our build of the day. Today, I want to build on a question of what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? I remember when I studied the character known as Jesus the Christ, right? One of the things that stood out to me was his passion for justice, right? His hunger for justice, his thirst for justice. When many people speak on Jesus, all types of people, pastors, priests, right? Ministers, preachers, freaking people that belong to this denomination and that denomination. When you often hear Jesus, first of all, you hear Jesus Christ, which Christ is not a surname, it's not a last name, it's Jesus the Christ. Jesus the Anointed One, right? That's the name. But people call him the Prince of Peace, and they speak on his loving and peaceful way, right? Oh, the Prince of Peace. Now, however, I study myself, not only reading Christian texts, but reading texts outside of Christianity that point to the same time, similar character, right? Different name, but similar person, right? I've studied Himalayas, India, right? Different parts of the world around that time. And now, in Matthew 10:34, and I also read the Bible, right? So in Matthew 10:34, Jesus tells us himself, do not think I have come to bring peace. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Right there, Jesus is telling us that he did not come to make peace. He came here to separate shit. In other words, to cause a fucking split, to cause division, to divide that which is righteous from that which is not righteous. Do not think that I come to bring peace. I did not come to bring peace. I have come to bring a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemies will be those of his own household. He ain't come to bring peace. I don't know where they get this Prince of Peace from. I get it, but I don't get it, right? Like I understand deeply on the, but shit. Now Jesus also says in Luke 12:49, I have come to set fire to the earth, and how I wish it was already on fire. I have come to set fire to the earth, and how I wish it was already on fire. Now, to me, these aren't words from a passive person only hoping for and wanting peace. These are the words of a revolutionary freedom fighter who wants liberation for his people. These are the words of a revolutionary freedom fighter who wants liberation for his people. That's who Jesus was to me, a fucking freedom fighter, a revolutionary, right? We hear the stories went in and flipped the tables, and he was persecuted by the fucking government. That's who persecuted him, the fucking government, the people who were in positions of power. The people who are in positions of power. This goes back to what I said before, the talk from the other day, self-reliance. Rely on your own mind. Jesus relied on his own mind. He did not go with what was status quo. He did not go with what was the standard of his time. He said, no, this shit is fucked up. They treating people like this. They doing this. No, this shit is fucked up, and we're going to get this shit right, and we're going to fuck this shit up. That's essentially what he said, and he fucked that shit up. And he fucked that shit up so well that story, for whatever reason, is still told and is the most widely told story in the history of the world. It's the story of Jesus. Right? But do not think that I come to bring peace. Right? I have come to set the earth on fire. And so when your pastor start being no, I'm not going to freaking act like these motherfucking politicians are not destroying our neighborhood, or not cutting SNAP benefits. Why? Julie Warren fucking, this shit is insane. We cannot, the elders used to say, tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil. We cannot be afraid to be honest. We cannot be afraid to be truthful. Yes, we can be persecuted. Yes, we can become political prisoners. That shit is real deal. But like, what's the other option? To go along and get along? And sometimes you may have to. Sometimes you may feel like you have to go along to get along so that you can make it to another day to take care of your family. Absolutely. Do what you got to do. Do what you feel is in your heart. However, some of us, we came to bring fire to this earth, right? Cause a division, right? Everybody who look like you ain't for you. That's number one. Every human ain't for the progress of humanity. That's number two. Everybody who's a human is not for the progress of humanity. Everybody, like Mike, I spoke about it before. I said Mike Tyson. He quoted somebody else. I don't remember the person he quoted. But he said, everyone's born human. We have to be taught how to be humane. Humanity is taught. Being humane is something that is shown to you. Take care of each other. Take care of your neighbor. Now, yes, we all have an inherent, inner compass, right? But that shit could be jaded as fuck. We're like, we doing this thinking it's cool. Nah, you get in touch with your inner compass. Get in touch with your inner God, with the God within. Be in touch with that energy, right? That is source energy that exists inside of you. And if you are really tapped in, you're going to know that things ain't correct right now. You're going to know that things ain't right, that things don't have to be the way they are right now. You're going to set the shit on fire, right? Not literally, but literally, quite literally, right? Set this shit on get this shit right. Fuck this shit up. Fuck this shit up, because people got to do better, especially if they're in position of authority. They got to do better at taking care of the people. This shit is getting critical. It's been very personal, but it's getting critical. Like, a lot of people are in a lot of fucked up positions. And what? So that's the question. What would Jesus do in this time right now? SNAP benefits are going, right? Is freaking genocide in Sudan, genocide in Congo, genocide in Gaza, right? Mass incarceration here in America, right? What would Jesus do? People are homeless. What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? That's the question. What would Jesus do? And with that, guys, that is our show. I'll leave you guys on that note. Maylin, what's going on, my sister? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. You're going to see your boo in a bit. Yo, I'm so excited for you guys, man. I'm so excited for you two to be together in a few next week. A week from tomorrow, you guys will be together. Woo! Doing the Uchi Coochie, my friend. Yo, Sefu, I love you. And I'm so happy for you. Maylin, my sister, I look forward to, I told Sefu he has to put us on on WhatsApp video chat so me and Kimona can see you and meet you and talk to you, right? And we're going to learn some Spanish, some Espanol. We're going to learn and we're going to read and translate. And I'm excited, and I don't know why I'm doing this voice. It sounds like the voice of a guy from a movie. But yo, listen, man, that's our show. Yo, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston. This is episode 487 of SR Daily. SR Daily is a personality meets enlightenment. Please do join us tomorrow, episode 488. Closing out week 98. We're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to 500. I am behind. I got some work to do, but please, 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 if you will be in town, mark your calendar. Come out. We're going to start spreading the word this weekend, and we're going to fill this shit up, man. We got 50 seats available, right? Don't have to be 50. I don't give a fuck. I just want to get as many people as possible in that space. Tuesday, November 18th, 9 a.m. for the 500th episode. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up! The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. And remember to ask the question, what would Jesus do? Peace.